Hi guys, this is a 12-month update on owning the SRT 8 in Australia, of course. You poor blokes over in the States can't get this one. So I've had this one for about 12 months, or nearly 12 months now. About 18,000 kilometres in. Just wanted to give you a quick update, a few pros and cons of the car. I mean, obviously it's a beautiful looking car. And yeah, I don't know what else I could want, really. So basically, we'll jump inside a bit quieter. So I just wanted to run through a couple of things. The ride quality. I mean, the ride quality I think is fantastic. It's nice and smooth in the normal standard mode. Then obviously you got your track and race and those different modes. And they certainly stiffen up the suspension so you can have a bit of fun in the corners. I think the car handles really well, actually, for a big car anyway. The exhaust, mate, the exhaust is just fantastic. I did have the 2012 SRT 8, and I did the resonator delete mod on that one, and the that was good. When I got this car, I mean, it was already standard. I mean, it just sounds fantastic. So as you can see, tad over 18,000 k's. Basically, you've got the 8-speed transmission in this car was a huge improvement over the old clunky 5-speed. It's just made such a difference in driving the car. I mean, obviously with that, the performance is fantastic. I mean, the first gear, I mean, look, you've got an eco mode which you can press in the settings here, but it's I don't know, it just basically starts off in second gear, and the car just feels sluggish, really. So it's not something I use anymore. When you've got that eco mode turned off, the cylinder deactivation still works, which is good. So it still does cut down to the 4 cylinders when you're not working the motor. I guess you've just got to be really careful in first gear starting off the line, because the tyres just can't keep traction. So I mean, it's good if you want to have a bit of fun, but it can be challenging to launch the car properly, because it just breaks loose really easily. Now the mod cons inside, I mean, I got the leather dash, which I think gives it a nice improvement over the standard. Things like, there's 2 USB ports in the back, which is good for the kids. The adaptive cruise control, I mean, I use that pretty much on a daily basis going into work. It's just great. Sitting on the freeway in traffic, I just set it, and it brakes, accelerates, and does all of that for me. The only time I have to do anything is obviously if we come to a complete stop, and then I've got to either hit resume or just drive off as normal. Now the remote start, I mean, I was really quite excited when I picked up the car because I didn't know it had remote start. So the remote start's brilliant. The range is unbelievable, really. I mean, I'll be a block away and not even in line of sight. Double tap the button and away she goes. Starts up. Obviously fantastic for hot days because the air conditioning's on. With the, you've got the comfort mode, which when you turned on, when you start up the car, the cooled seats will turn on automatically if it's over 26 degrees Celsius, and the heated seats and the heated wheel will also turn on automatically if it's below 4 degrees. Look, it doesn't really get that cold here in Sydney, so I generally turn it on in winter, but other than that it's great. The seats are really nice and comfortable. I mean, I'm a fairly small bloke, but they hold me in nice and tight, with the support around the sides. I think the steering wheel looks really quite nice. Siri works quite well if you've got an iPhone, so you can pretty much do anything you want. Couple of cons, I suppose, with the car. I mean, look, there's not too many. I guess we'll have a quick look outside. The fit and finish isn't fantastic. There's a couple of things here. I mean, if you have a look, I'm not sure if you can see or not. If you have a look right there, I mean, it just doesn't line up. The other side does perfect. So yeah, obviously it's it's not a German-made car, so those sorts of things don't really bother me that much. Now the wheels, there's not a great deal of room, so you can actually update the rubber and put wider tyres on, which I'd like to do. When these tyres are up, I'll put as wide as I can, obviously, just to help with that traction. But yeah, there's not a lot of room. I mean, the front, there's virtually no room in the front footwell with the strut to get wider rubber on, which is unfortunate, but that's life, I suppose. Now, I haven't had really any major issues with the car. I did get the sunroof, obviously. Now, it did develop a bit of a creak, so I finally got that looked at by the dealer, Sutton's at Rosebery. They're useless. That's all I can really say on them, I'm afraid. I mean, they had the car for 3 or 4 days, I think it was, and when I got it back, it was actually worse than when I took it to them. It said I took it to them it had like a rattle. It sounded like a rattle coming from the sunroof. I was sure it was coming from the sunroof, but they told me no, it was actually something to do with the back seat. So they said they fixed that. When I got the car back, I didn't really get the rattle, but creaking. Wow, the creaking was unbelievable. I had creaking all the time, and I've yet to have that fixed because it's just too inconvenient to keep taking it back to them. But on the next service, which is coming up soon, I'll be letting them know well in advance that they need to look into it. The the rattle seems to have gone for the most part, but the creaking just hasn't. I mean, I tried putting silicone spray all over the doors and all the rubbers and stuff, but unfortunately that didn't help. So what else? The car has the all these safety features, like you've got your emergency braking. So basically, if the car thinks you might be getting too close or going too fast and there's another car in front of you, it will start beeping and carrying on, and also it will actually hit the brakes. That's good. I've left that on because it may come in handy one day. For the most part, it's pretty good. It doesn't really activate that often. It doesn't activate the brakes by mistake very often. I don't know if it has at all really, but I mean, it's a good feature. It carries on like you wouldn't believe. Blinks and it comes up in the middle console saying brake, and it just goes nuts, which is good. So if you have lost concentration, I mean, it's a good feature to have. The audio system, I mean, look, there's a few people which say the audio system's not great. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it sounds a hell of a lot better than the 2012 did. I don't know why, but it just does. It's got plenty of bass and plenty of volume, so there's certainly no problems there. I guess the only other con really is fuel consumption, but you don't buy a car like this if you're worried about fuel consumption. So it's a performance car, and I do sit in a lot of traffic on a day-to-day basis going to work and back. So I think my average is about 16 and a half litres to the 100 k's. I mean, whatever. I mean, I've had quite a few other cars before. This is showing 15. I do have an app which says it's about 16 and a half, but anyway, that's that. I don't think it's any worse than the other cars I've had. I've had quite a few performance cars really. Started with a VY Calais. That was the 5.7 litre V8. I mean, that went quite well. I ended up doing a fair bit of work to that car though. I took the extractors, changed the extractors, the exhaust, got a full tune on that, and I got it up and going. But certainly it's got nowhere near the performance of this thing straight out of the box. So, and that car, I mean, I think I really those days I didn't have to deal with that much traffic, and the fuel consumption was pretty similar in that car. Also, I had a 2010, I think it was 2010 FPV F6, so that's the Falcon 300 kilowatt turbo 6, and again this fuel consumption really was pretty much identical to this. I think it has dropped a little bit from my 2012 SRT, and I put that down to the transmission. But other than that, really, I don't know of any other cons. Look, it's just a great car, and I really do enjoy driving it. The power's just fantastic. The gearbox is great. So that's that. If you have any other questions, just hit me up in the comments. Happy to answer. Have a nice day.